Once upon a time, between fertile hills and old footpaths, lived a family of 5 children, 4 sons and a daughter. Their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alongi, were respected farmers. Among the children, Ethan, the eldest, stood out, not because he was the strongest, but because of his obedience, honesty, and quiet sacrifice. This drew the affection of their parents. His siblings, however, saw things differently. Why is it always Ethan this, Ethan that? Daniel once snapped. Is he the only child they gave birth to? Their jealousy grew like weeds. One evening, Mr. Alongi called all his children together and said to them, My children, I want you all to know we love each of you dearly. But there's a unique grace that comes with being the firstborn. Ethan has always helped us when we were weak. He deserves your respect. But the bitterness had already taken root. Years passed. The children grew into adults. Thomas ran a transport company. Daniel became a contractor. Caleb owned several stores in the city. Sarah married and relocated. Only Ethan remained in the village, caring for the aging parents. He had no job, no business, just loyalty. One day, Mr. Alongi called his children again. Ethan needs your help. The greatest investment is not in land or gold, but in people. Help your brother, he said to them. Thomas, sarcastically, you want us to help your favorite child? Why don't you do it yourself? Mr. Alongi calmly said, If I had pampered all of you, none would be serious today. Now that you're successful, sow into your brothers tomorrow, for tomorrow is deep. But they did nothing. Months later, Mr. Alongi fell gravely ill. Ethan stayed by his bedside, while the others stayed away. Mrs. Alongi pleading to her children, Please don't abandon your father now. But their ears were deaf to her cries. As death crept closer, Mr. Alongi called for his children. That day, he divided his vast farmland among them. To Ethan, he gave the best portion, a large, quiet land near the riverbank as the first son. Daniel, whispering to Caleb, even in death, he's still showing favoritism. That night, Mr. Alongi passed away. Caleb said to Ethan, You're the eldest, Ethan. The burial is your responsibility. Ethan replied, But I have no means of income now. This is our father. We must all contribute. Thomas replied, Sorry, brother. You were his favorite. Handle it. Heartbroken, Ethan pleaded, but they ignored him. Out of desperation, he decided to sell part of the land he had received. His brothers schemed again. Daniel said to Thomas and Caleb, Let's buy it from him for cheap. That land is too good. Caleb, with lying tongue, said to Ethan, Swap it for mine. I'll add a little money. Mine is good too. Ethan agreed. The land he received was barren, used as a dump for garbages. Still, he needed the money for the burial and to repair their father's house. The burial was modest but dignified. Ethan returned to life with his widowed mother and an empty pocket. One day, while clearing a portion of the garbage dump land to plant vegetables, Ethan's hoe struck something hard, a rusted metal chest buried deep. He, o- he opened it and gasped. Inside were several gold bars and diamond stones. God, is this real? He wrapped the items in rags and hid them. Quietly, he connected with Mr. Bako, a Senegalese gold dealer. He sold a few pieces and made enough money to change his life. But he didn't stop farming. Instead, he expanded, bought nearby lands, and rebuilt his father's house. He named the new property Alongi Farmhouse. He married, bought cars for himself and for his farm business, and became more successful than all his siblings. Thomas being jealous. Something's off. Are you sure it's just vegetables that's giving him this kind of wealth? Daniel responded, I think he used dad for rituals. Driven by envy, they schemed. They reported Ethan to the police, accusing him of killing their father for ritual. Because of their government connections, Ethan was arrested and imprisoned without trial. His brothers took over his properties, forcing Ethan's wife to go and live with her mother in law. The community turned against him after hearing Ethan used his father for ritual. Chief Williams, one of the elders in the community, said, "That boy was the only one who stayed with his father. But now, who knows?" But God wasn't done. Months later, Mr. Baco, the gold dealer, returned to buy more gold, getting to Ethan's house and found only Ethan's wife. Baco asked, "Where is Ethan?" Ethan's wife replied, "They accused him, saying he killed his father for wealth." His brothers reported him. He was arrested and taken to the federal capital territory. Baco was shocked. He reached out to his friend in the Federal Capital Territory Prison Service, explained everything, and presented documents, photos, and leftover gold bars. Ethan's story was finally heard in court. Baco testified for Ethan in court. The rusted chest was presented as an evidence. All records proved Ethan had found treasure, not made blood sacrifices. Ethan's brothers were found guilty of defamation, false accusation, and property theft, and to face jail term, but with an option in which the court fined each of them $500 million and ordered the return of every property stolen from Ethan. They all agreed to pay the fine in order not to go to jail. Ethan was released and welcomed back into the community as a hero. Even the same people in the community who once mocked him now bowed in respect. Ethan brothers, Thomas, Caleb, and Daniel, began to have crisis in their businesses. After paying the fines, they went bankrupt. "Caleb, please, Ethan, forgive us. We would have listened to our father." This moment, each of them regretted their actions towards Ethan from the onset of life. Open quote, Ethan said to him, "I've forgiven you, but I've also learned even family can break you. I'll help you, but I'll guard my peace." Close quote. He supported their businesses and families, but never let them too close again. For precaution and prevention are better than cure, said within his heart. The man once mocked, forgotten, and accused now stood as a symbol of grace, justice, and resilience. Moral: those who plant truth in the soil of hardship will one day reap a harvest that cannot be buried, even by blood, betrayal, or lies. Please subscribe, comment your interest for the next part, like, share, and tap the notification button to get notified for more. Thanks for watching.